Yeah, you're listening to Business Podcasting Made Easy, the influencer's formula, where you are getting a roadmap to instant authority and thought leadership with a podcast, a book, an ebook, all of the things that you're proud of. And this is on the IBGR network that we are broadcasting. We're bringing to you now episode 38. And in this episode, we are going to talk about leveraging memberships, things like Twitch, Clubhouse, podcast communities, all of the membership opportunities for you and your podcast and those that want to be closer to you and learn from your genius. I'm Donna Cundy, co-founder of the IBGR Network, Global Radio Authority podcast expert and producer of over 14,000 podcasts, which is where we are getting this roadmap brought to you from.
Exactly. And I'm Ben Joy, a three-time international best-selling author with teachings that reach more than 50,000 people worldwide, thanks to leveraging my books. And we're here to help you get your podcast done and all the other things that we talk about, the book, the interactive ebook, a year or more of content, all that stuff in just 13 minutes at a time over 13 weeks. So remember, you can follow the plan at influencersformula.com. And if you want help from us directly, contact us today at ibgr.info. And that brings us into the show today with this wonderful quote from Mahathir Mohamad. He says, membership of an organization is good as long as you can make yourself heard. So welcome to the show.
Yes, that's a great thing right there, for sure. And so what I want to do, Ben, one more time, because we might have people just joining us on this one. These are some pretty impactful episodes. If you are just joining us, this is a series of 3 weeks, 12 episodes in total. Go back to week 8 and where we're talking about repurposing your podcast. Do all 4 of those. Go back to week 9, where we're talking about the written content, solely blogging, writing a book. Do one of the blog strategies, write a book. Come here next, choose one of the 4 of these and do that. I think that's the best way to a gentle reminder on this so that it's not overwhelmed, so that you can actually get something done and do it well.
Exactly. Yeah. And we keep saying, and we're going to say it again and again and again, right? Following the steps, following the influencer's formula, by doing the podcast, you will have 80% of your book done by dint of doing the podcast, right? So when Donna says, okay, go write your book, right? Don't go, how the hell do I do that? Like, you've done it already, basically, right? So you just want to, wrap it up in a nice bow and present it appropriately. So this is all about becoming a person worth listening to by leveraging and monetizing your podcast with your exclusive content on other platforms, right? We're focusing on some membership sites like Twitch, like Clubhouse, podcast communities, and Ben, what the hell are you talking about exclusive content, right? So you can do so many things here, right? So don't reinvent the wheel, right? Think about deep dives, think about your subject matter, think about your network of influencers, think about giving people early access to stuff, think about creative content that you're offering no place else. Think about real life streams, in what you're doing, what you're teaching, what you're bringing forth. There's group audio live chat, there's live streams, and there's that fantastic word, etc. So many possibilities available to you.
I love that you say that, Ben. Just circling back to the title of this one, where we're talking about Twitch, Clubhouse, and podcast communities. Twitch is a paid model for mostly for gamers, and they have very low membership monthly fee that gives you access to that particular influencer. And you can set up on a platform very similar. It's a proven model. So take a look at that and think about that. If you're not familiar with Clubhouse, it's the opportunity to have conversations. It's real audio. It's real people talking, not typing text. So there's several of those platforms that have come out. I think Clubhouse was the first one that did that. And then also going into the podcast communities, what we want you to know here is that there are communities that are coming up where the podcaster is positioned similar to how Clubhouse works and Twitch works, that you get to show up when you show up and have live interaction with followers. So especially when it comes to transformation, Ben, people have questions. People want to know more, and people are willing to pay for it. So with membership, it doesn't have to be a lot of money. on the investment end. But they do want that connection. And because you're positioning yourself, they're fangirl, I want to get close to this person. I talked to so-and-so, right? That you're going to start getting positioned like that because of the work that you've done.
Yeah. It's really something. It's and the goal here is not, hey, you want to be the center of attention to be the center of attention, right? You want to be the center of attention so you can help people and make an impact with your message and facilitate the transformation that your people want and need. They might not even know all of what they need, but they want something, right? So meet them where they want something, get them in the door, so to speak, into the community, into that exclusive content, into the pages of your book, whatever you want to call it, right? And then you give them what they need when they are in the door, right? Because if you start out with, hey, this is what you need, people be like, I don't need that. Don't tell me what I need.
Who are you to tell me what I need?
Exactly, right? Like, I mean, it's a very human response. So we're dealing with the humans here. We're supporting the humans. We are humans too, believe it or not, right? And if you haven't been listening so far, even if you have been listening so far, make sure you're subscribed to the show at influencersformula.com. If you want direct support from us for your business podcast and book and all the goodness, all the leveraged, amplified goodness that comes in the mix, reach out to us today at ibgr.info. So Donna, what the heck do our folks need to do?
Well, it's one of those hardest, easiest things to do is to decide what to give and where it's best to give it. We just say start with a test drive and build those connections. Just start somewhere. You and I both have a mutual connection, Monique, and one of the ways that she's doing it is on LinkedIn. She does her show weekly. It's an interview series that she's doing this season. And then her show airs on a Friday. The Wednesday, she shows up on a live stream and does a Q&A, does a little green room sort of thing where she can give a little more insight into the person that she's interviewing and the content that was covered, and then field questions. When we're talking about monetizing, yes, you can start with the cash register ringing right away, but then you can also, like you said, Ben, test things out, cultivate a little bit on the free zone. And then when they want more, you can ask, hey, I'm thinking about starting this membership group. What are your thoughts on that? Get some feedback. Because I have content, I have templates, I have this, I have that, and it would be a way for us to come together, blah, 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 and see what they say about that. See what they'd be willing to pay. You can build the focus group by the people that show up and raise their hand and say, I want more. Yeah,
Donna, I appreciate you saying that a lot. And there's something really important underneath all of this that I want to make sure that everybody's understanding. So listen closely, lean in, everybody, right? Membership sites are brilliant, right? And the content that you can offer on the membership site is brilliant. And one of the ways and one of the reasons why it's going to be successful is because there's the accountability factor in there, right? You can give people all of the tools, all of the techniques, all of the guidance, and most people cannot or will not do it by themselves, right? They have the best intentions, right? They'll get started, but to help them consume that content the right way and stay on track and accountable and get all the way through, right? That's the beauty of a membership site, that accountability. I mean, how many programs, I mean, I can think of myself, I've signed up for several things, right? And I get about a third of the way through and then I get a little distracted or whatever, right? And, the ones that I don't follow through with, right, they don't have as much accountability as I personally need, right? Because I'm a highly creative person, and it's like, hey, squirrel, right? Like, let me paint that squirrel, like that, the whole deal. So yeah. Remember, in all of this, like, give value, understand your people from this kind of focus group perspective, and remember that one of the greatest services that you're giving through membership is that accountability and community.
I love that. And as you were talking, Ben, I'm thinking on in Facebook groups, they launched maybe last year where you can actually build it as for courses. You can put your courses in there and paid membership in Facebook. So that's a place when we talk about membership sites. Well, you might be thinking, where do I go for that membership site? LinkedIn does the same thing with LinkedIn groups. And the feedback I have from our LinkedIn expert at IBGR is that you can also charge for a LinkedIn group, and that the ones that are more successful charge something like $9 a month.
Mm.
Because there's that little bit of a monetary investment that will say, oh, I want to show up to this because I'm investing in myself. It doesn't have to be that amount. It can be any amount that you want. Do some research on that one. But I just wanted to throw that out there on the two social media sites, because we've already been talking about social media and how to leverage there, and that, a lot of your ideal clients might already be there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really appreciate that too, Donna, because, the whole idea of, investing in yourself or inviting people to invest in themselves, like, give them an opportunity to get enough skin in the game, because as one of, my first coaches would always remind me, right? The biggest opportunity for transformation is the place where transaction takes place, right? Most people don't get the value from free stuff. It doesn't mean that they don't get a good start, inspiration, etc. But then how do you help them really to take the next step? There's something, deeply powerful and psychological about even plunking down a few bucks to take a next step with somebody.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So in the take action, Ben, what are we saying here?
What the hell are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
Go do it. Yeah.
Go do it.
Pick something to start interacting. This is really, when we talk about membership sites, we're talking about interacting, engaging. Pick a way to do that. Pick a model, a business model, whether it's a Twitch-like model, whether it's a Clubhouse-like model, whether it's a Facebook or LinkedIn group type model, a live stream, whatever it is. This is about getting engagement with your people, adding more value, and getting some money in your cash register, which is never a bad thing. We're going to wrap up episode 38 on leveraging memberships, Twitch, Clubhouse, podcast communities on the IBGR network. I am Donna Cundy.
And I'm Ben Joya. Thank you so much for listening.
Have a great day, but don't go anywhere, because we got 2 more coming up.